morning and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 163. We're going to be talking about the college football playoff prediction that came out on Tuesday night. And then we're going to be talking about the must-watch games this weekend. Not many good games, but we'll talk about the 3 games you for sure have to see. And then we'll move on to the NFL, as there's some great games on Saturday. No more international. They'll all be done Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and into Monday night. So we'll tell you which games you have to watch on Sunday. And then we finish with Tim's best bets. Can he go 4-0 this week? We will see. So let's get it started.
Yeah. I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Sox.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm here to Mardi Gras.
I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes. All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
Welcome back to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 163. I'm here with Anthony and Tim, and we have a brand new college playoff prediction to go through. It gets a little confusing for me, so I'm going to have Anthony explain how this is going to work. So, Anthony, take it away.
Yep, so if you haven't watched the past 2 weeks about it, the first 1 through 4 get a bye, okay? So they're not playing a game. Ohio State is number 1, number 2 is Indiana, number 3 is Texas A&M, and number 4 is Georgia, just like the AP top 10 right there. Now we get a little interesting. Number 9 is Notre Dame playing number 8, Oklahoma. Winner would play Ohio State. Number 10, Alabama versus number 7, Oregon would play number 2, Indiana. Number 11, Miami versus number 6, Ole Miss. The winner would play Texas A&M. And number 12, the cursed one, is Tulane versus number 5, Texas Tech. Winner would play Georgia. Mr. Tim Cook, what do you think about this?
Alabama. I think they could kind of, sort of control their own destiny. Even after losing to Oklahoma, Alabama, I think the remaining SEC games, they have to win out to get it and possibly win the SEC championship. But I think that they have to win the SEC to make the playoffs. I really do. I think another loss, they're done. They're out. And if Kalen DeBoer doesn't make the playoffs, we can hear him, because that's what Alabama is. Alabama's about making playoffs. It ain't about great wins and stuff like that. It's about making the playoffs. You got to make the playoffs every year. That's what we expect. That is the bar that is set for us, for them. And that's what they've got to do. So I think that's Alabama kind of sort of controls their own destiny.
Okay. I mean, I was looking at number 12, right? So they put Tulane in, which is the American Conference. That would be American Conference winner. Well, we've talked about that North Texas is in there. Navy is still in that to possibly win that. There's a lot of teams that could possibly win. It looks like Tulane is who they think is going to win it. But, I was venting about how Miami fans want to be higher seeded than Notre Dame. You know what? If we're not going to get a home game, how about you go to Oklahoma? We'll go down to Ole Miss. And then, because if we win, we take on Texas A&M, and I feel confident, again, to play them. But you know what I don't want to do? I don't want to beat Oklahoma and then have to play Ohio State. This is the problem with this whole seeding. Because if I was an Ohio State fan, I would be pissed off because I'm going to have to take on either Notre Dame or Oklahoma. It almost makes more sense to be the number 4 seed or even possibly the number 3 seed than being the number 1 seed. You don't even want it. Now, another team on here, Oregon. We're going to talk about them later because if they lose, I think they're out. They're gone. They're out of this whole thing completely. And if USC wins, I think they're in. Now, USC winning helps Notre Dame because that's a bigger win for them. If USC loses, doesn't look as good now for Notre Dame. I do agree with everything else. I think Texas Tech is a top 4 team. I truly do. I think once they win the Big 12, I think people are going to be like, oh, shit. Like, they're for real. I think Ohio State and Indiana, they're going to play each other in the Big 10 championship. I think both get in the top 4. Whoever loses is still in the top 4. So we have a lot of fascinating things coming through. I do think it's funny that we said, hey, the top 12 teams are going to get in, right? And it's 2 Big Ten teams and 2 SEC teams taking that top. No ACC, no Big 12. We talked about what was the biggest conferences, who dominates it. It's those 2. But at the same time, who has Ohio State played this year?
Yeah.
Who has Indiana played this year? Like, we're talking about teams that I don't even know if I actually believe in until we get into playoff time. And I think that's what's great about Notre Dame is because they're not in a conference, that doesn't mean they play in a week games. They play good teams on the road and they win these games. If I'm Notre Dame though, I want a home game or I want to get back in that back seating a little bit because I don't want to play Ohio State week 2, or if we win that first game, play Ohio State.
And they pretty much said on the show that Notre Dame may not get any farther than where they're at.
Yeah,
because they ain't going to have any good quality. The last 2 games are Syracuse and Stanford, and they're like combined like 2-14. I mean, they're terrible. I mean, they're not very good. And you know what, too, also, Anthony, I was clamoring. I think Texas A&M should have moved up. I think they're one of the 3 best teams in the nation, but I don't know if they can win the national championship. I really don't. After last week and have to come back against a 3-7 team in South Carolina, can they make a run? I mean, because they're not going to be able to get down 33 against – we seen that with Oregon and Ohio State last year.
Yeah.
Oregon came in, after a bye, and they stunk up the place. So, they're not going to be able to get down 30-3 against, let's say, maybe a Notre Dame, not even a Notre Dame, but let's say one of the better teams, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That may be a perfect one. Oklahoma, with that defense, they're not going to be able to get down 30-3 because they can stop Marcel Reed pretty quickly with that defense. So, I mean, it makes me a little shaky right now. I think they're one of the top 3 teams to win the national championship, but can they? Because the competition is going to get better as the playoffs keep going.
Well, and that's what you expect, right? You want the best teams in the playoff.
Right.
I'm thinking the opposite of that. I think when you come back 30-3, you show that you can fight back. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest thing, and actually Lisa's the one that said it on the couch last night talking about it, they have to reseed after these first games. They have to, because it's not fair to Ohio State to play a 9 or 8 when there could be a 12 or 11 that made it in that first round. Play them. Let them play them. I think it's one of those things where you get a bye and then we reseed it again. It adds more entertainment, adds more controversy, things like that. And that's what college football loves. I think that's what you're going to see down the road is these first round buys are going to have it. And then you're going to have a reseeding again because
I doubt that.
Yeah, but one second.
Nobody else does that.
I know, but nobody else, like, college football likes to be unique on its own. But, I think you're going to see a team like Ohio State or someone that's big like that, Alabama or something like that in the future, that's a 1 seed that played great all year and they lose that first game, and people are going to be like, I mean, what about Oregon last year? Oregon didn't play anyone all year. They play Ohio State and get beat, and they're thinking, why did we have to face them then?
Yeah.
Why didn't we get Notre Dame? Why didn't we get Texas? Why didn't we get any of these? Arizona State. Why didn't we get one of these teams to be able to play them?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they're already unique as it is when they're doing this 12-team playoff, so it's not like they have to compare it to anybody else. They're already making up their own rules as it is. But it just kind of seemed like, let's say Tulane or it is the number 12 seed and they do make it to the next round. They play A&M or Texas Tech. So it's just kind of like, that's your play. You know what I mean? Like, you should be going to the number 1 seed. Why is it fair for the middle of the pack to go against the number 1 seed? Like, I just didn't see how that made sense. I don't know, but I just wanted to bring it up to Anthony because I'm like, you have much more knowledge in this, so explain this to me because I just don't see how that makes sense.
And last thing, you said nobody else does it, but doesn't college basketball? It's not like they play in as a 16 seed to face the number 1 seed.
Their first game is more likely. Yes.
And that's what this would be.
But here's another issue. Really, the NFL does reseed. Doesn't really reseed. If you're the number 1 seed, you play the highest seeded team. Yeah. So, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is either you reseed it or you say, okay, this is what the first round's going to be like, but the whole next round is all decided on who wins these games.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if I'm Ohio State, I'm pissed. I don't want to face either one of those teams. Both have solid defenses, and offenses are turning up at the wrong time. They're coming good now. So,
Yeah. Excuse me. Okay, so that goes on to I'm sorry, I had to catch my breath. So that goes on from the college predictions. Now let's move on to these must-watch games. Now Anthony teased that we have a couple of games to watch. So Tim, why don't you take me into your first must-watch game this Saturday?
BYU and Cincinnati. I think this is a night game. It's on Fox. I think for BYU, can Bear Brockmeyer bounce back after that rough game against Texas Tech? Look like the guy, look like he needs to get back to the guy he's been all season. Having LJ Martin back healthy is going to help him in the backfield. I think he'll be a difference maker. Also, BYU has to play better on the road. They have not played well on the road. They played well at home, but not on the road. They're also, for Cincinnati, Tyree Walker is the key for Cincinnati, running back. Evan Pryor's been down with an ankle injury. He's supposed to be back, but they're going to need both of them. He's out so they can open up the passing game. Also, can Cincinnati win the turnover battle? That's a big one. Big turnover, too, against a freshman quarterback like Brockmeyer would be huge on the road. The Bearcats bend but don't break offense has to come up and play. They have to make a play or two in this game. I like, in an upset, Cincinnati at home.
Ooh, okay. Anthony, how do you feel about this matchup?
Yeah, I think this is one of those statement games for BYU. They have to make a statement. If you're going to say the two Big 12 teams need to be in, this is the game right here. You cannot play them close. You have to do it the Notre Dame way, where you show dominance from start to finish in this game. But don't sleep on Cincinnati. Cincinnati had high expectations. They lost a couple games they should have won, and they could have been in the run for this Big 12 and this whole situation. I don't know. I feel like the way BYU plays on the road, it makes me hesitant. But I'm actually going to take BYU winning this game. I did see it's a 2.5 point spread.
Yeah,
it's almost a pick 'em in this game. I like BYU winning this game because I do think there will be two Big 12 teams coming into the college playoffs.
Yeah, and really when it comes down to this point, you have it or you don't. You have to give it every single play all out. Like there's no chance to take a break. Like if you really want to get into these college playoffs, this is the time to absolutely go all out. So
Hell yeah, coach. Hell yeah, coach.
I would say that if BYU really wants it, they have to go get it and they have to show dominance. So I'm going to go BYU. Hopefully they turn up. Okay, Anthony, take me into your first must-watch this Saturday.
Yeah, I teased this game. It's the number 15 USC versus number 7 Oregon. Winner has a great chance of making the college playoffs. At the same time, Oregon over here, fans are like, we want a home game. We deserve a home game. Well, who have you beaten this year? You've beaten Penn State at Penn State. Okay. James Franklin was still there, but Penn State's kind of imploded on themselves after this whole thing. You beat Iowa at Iowa, but it took a last-second field goal to beat them. Well, on the other side, what does USC have on their resume? They have a good loss to Notre Dame, and as long as Notre Dame keeps winning, that's a good one. But otherwise, they have a win against Michigan, who's still in it, kinda. Yeah. And really, when you look at this, I think USC, if they win, they're in because they're going to replace Oregon on this one. I think Oregon, if they lose, they're out. The other thing I will say, too, is I don't know if I'm a believer in Oregon, but I know what the potential USC has. So this game is exciting to watch. I want to see what Oregon has to bring because it was great to see them play close against Iowa. It was a great game back when Penn State and all that situation. But both offenses want to get the passing game going. So who's going to have the better passing? Who's going to step up? So what's the key factor in this game? Just like what you said, turnovers. Who can cause the turnovers? If USC can get after the quarterback and cause turnovers, that is a situation where they can shut out the crowd, get on their way to win this game. Or does Oregon get a couple turnovers when USC gets behind the sticks and the crowd gets crazy? Final thing I'll say about this game, too, is USC, we've said the same thing all year. They have to run the ball. They have to run the ball. And we keep saying it because they can't keep every week they're not able to run the ball. I think this week they show running the ball. I like USC to win this game. Even though it's at Oregon, I just think USC's got a better team on paper and is a better team overall.
I mean, it's another make it or break it game. I feel like every game that we're going to preview right now, it's make it or break it. So I'm also going to align with you here. I'm also feeling USC. I feel like they got some fire underneath them that they're not done. They got more left in the engine. So I'm going USC. Tim, how do you feel about this game?
Dante Moore runs all over that USC defense.
Wow.
I think in a rout, they always go up to USC or go up to Oregon, and they don't play worth a shit. And who's the coach for USC? God, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I was going to say Kingsbury, but it's not Kingsbury. But yeah, he'll shit the bed. Miami shits the bed. I like Oregon in this one.
Well, College Game Day will be there, so it is going to be exciting as well to see how that all works out. But yeah, and I don't know. I want USC to win because it makes Notre Dame look better the more that they win.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be interested in what Oregon's going to wear, so I'll keep you updated on that. Tim, what's your second matchup to watch this weekend?
Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech. Very interesting ACC game. For Pittsburgh, simple. Keep winning, and maybe you can make it to the ACC championship and a spot in the CFP before playing Miami. This is going to be a big game because they have Miami next week. So they got to keep winning, For Georgia Tech, win and you're in the ACC championship. You're one step closer to making the playoffs. I think the key for Pittsburgh, how they rebound from that drubbing that Notre Dame give you. Because that game didn't count. That's right. It really didn't even – no stats counted. It didn't even count towards your record, right? For Georgia Tech, got to play better than last week. They had to come from behind against Boston College, which is 2-8 this year. And they didn't play very good. Haynes King has got to play better. And I think Britt Key will have this team ready to go. I like Georgia Tech in this one. I think the Pittsburgh Panthers is over.
Interesting, because we kind of need Pitt to keep winning here, right? Like, we need them to keep dominating because isn't it, Anthony, correct me if I'm wrong here, but isn't like the Miami 11 seed like basically an asterisk because they have to win the ACC conference to get that slot? So really, that's up for the air for Georgia Tech. That's up in the air for Pitt. But I think I'm leaning towards Pitt on this one. I think they can pull this one out after a comeback. Anthony, how do you feel?
If the Pitt running back doesn't get hurt against Notre Dame, I like Pitt in this game. But it sounds like he's not going to be playing due to an ankle injury. Haynes King is a stud. He is. He's inconsistent sometimes, and that's the problem. But isn't it at Georgia Tech?
Yes, it is.
It is. Okay. So Haynes King's going to put on a show. He reminds me a lot of the Vanderbilt quarterback where he can use it with his legs, and he would rather use it with his legs than his arm. I think the way that Notre Dame ran the ball on Pitt, I think they could do the same thing against that, or Georgia Tech could do the same thing. I think it brings up into a great matchup next weekend because does Pitt upset Miami, and does Georgia Tech upset Georgia going into the last week as well? So I like Georgia Tech in this game as well. If it was at Pitt, I think it's a little different. But also, too, this is why, Pat, you don't say these things, because how can you now go in this locker room and mean that this game means more? Every game means something. Whether it's out of conference or in conference, who cares? And now it's hard for you to grab that locker room. I wouldn't be surprised they lose both games, and they start looking at saying, hey, his comments were a reason why this happened. See you later. So, but I like Georgia Tech.
Yeah, very valid. I think I'm really more just like wanting them to take Miami already, kind of shut that conversation down. But, I need them to win out basically. So,
well, and 1 second, real quick, too. Notre Dame's not a solidified spot. Everyone keeps saying that. But if Miami would lose and not make it in, that hurts Notre Dame. If USC loses or Pitt loses, that hurts Notre Dame because what quality wins do they have? You're looking at the whole thing and being like, well, these teams are not even ranked by the end of the year.
Well, that means that Notre Dame won't go where they're at is where they're going to stay at. That's the problem. They won't go any farther than what 8, 9, 9. They're not going to go any farther than that.
Yeah, so, I don't think they'll give them a home game.
No, I don't think so either. It's just the way it's leaning towards. But anyway.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, Anthony, do you have a second must-watch game here?
No, I don't. And the reason is because SEC is a bunch of punks. Facing all these teams, I mean, I think Texas A&M's playing Samford. No, I didn't say Stanford. I said Samford. Bulldogs. 1-10 this year, 1-9 or some crap like that. Oh, wait. Who's Alabama playing? Eastern Illinois. Like, come on. Tony Romo needs to be playing for that team for them to even have a chance. SEC's playing a lot of cupcake games. So there isn't really a big day of Saturday. So hopefully Sunday can bring us a lot. Even though the 3 games we just mentioned right there, they all have playoff indications. And guess what? Notre Dame better show up. These other teams better show up because it's an eye test for all the people that are out here trying to be football people. It's an eye test. And if Notre Dame lays an egg, or if Georgia will lay an egg, or any of these teams will lay an egg, that will hurt them in the college football prediction.
But couldn't that hurt the SEC at the same time? Like if these games are closer than what they should be?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They won't be, though. They won't
No,
be.
they won't be. No.
Yeah.
No, they like running the score up. They won't be.
Yeah. I mean, going against a 1-10 doesn't seem, optimistic. But
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're 1-10. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was like, maybe they Samford Bulldogs. Can't tell you where they're at, but Texas A&M is going to say, hey, we'll whoop your ass, I guess.
All right. Well, that makes it for a very interesting Saturday. I know we'll definitely be keeping our eyes open on the TV. Let's move over to Sunday. And that's right. I said Sunday, Anthony. NFL happens on Sundays.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
Anthony,
it's going to be a few weeks before they get to the Saturday night game. So
Yeah.
I know we got holidays coming up, but like Sundays.
Hey, let's be easy. The man's had a couple concussions. You're lucky I'm talking half the time, so just be easy.
Well, let's keep the eyes forward and not let them wander around there.
Yeah, town and country.
All right, Anthony, why don't you take me into your first NFL matchup?
Yeah, right off the bat at noon, Steelers versus Bears. Possibly Aaron Rodgers is playing. He has not been classified out yet. And remember, Aaron Rodgers returned to Chicago because he's the Bears' daddy. And if he doesn't go, Mason Rudolph's taking the start. And I'll tell you right now, he did not look that bad last week. He got thrown into a game that he didn't know he was going to play. We've talked about Shadur in that same situation, things like that. He didn't look that bad. While Chicago is on top of the mountain right now in the NFC North, 7-3?
yeah.
Out of their 7 wins, do you know how many games they've won by more than 10 points? 10 or more?
2.
Okay, it's because I told you that stat earlier. There's no way you knew that. Oh, okay. They have only won 2.
She was listening. Anthony,
I'm
she
a
was listening.
genius. I'm
Yeah.
a genius.
They've only won 2 games this year where they've won 10 or more points, okay? Now, that sounds like a knock on the Bears. It's actually not. It's a hell of a compliment. They know how to win when it's time to win the game. They've won a lot of fourth quarter games. We just saw it last week. We saw it the week before. We saw it the week before that. They know how to win these games. That is Ben Johnson's culture. The Bears have kind of a gauntlet to finish the season. So this game does matter a lot, whether they're playing Aaron Rodgers or they're playing, because I think they got the Eagles later this year. They got a lot of tough games leading on to it. But one thing I just want to give the roses to the Bears. The NFL's looking at you different now. Chicago Bears fans are looking at you different. You wouldn't believe what 670 sounds like now that the Bears have a winning record. And I just want to say this absolutely sucks as a Vikings fan that is sitting through the dark days of Minnesota right now. Because can we catch a break? We always know Green Bay's going to be good, but now Detroit's good, and they've been good for the past couple years. Oh, and here comes Chicago now, wants to be good now. It just sucks. I hate being the last team in the NFC North, but you got to give the roses to the Bears. And honestly, Ben Johnson. I'm not going to give it to Pace or whatever the hell his name is.
Kevin Warren? No.
No, it's Pace or whatever. Whoever the hell the GM is, I'm not giving him the credit. I'm giving it to Ben Johnson because I think it's what it's taken for these guys to have the mindset to never give up and win this game. But I will take the Bears to win. Aaron Rodgers plays, Bears win. Mason Rudolph plays, Bears win this game.
Wow. So
You're saying the Steelers? Sorry, Lisa. So
No,
you're
go
saying
ahead.
if Rodgers plays, you're taking the Steelers?
Nope. I'm taking the Bears
So
either way.
So just say the Bears then.
I'm saying it don't matter who plays at quarterback.
Oh, okay. All right.
You can throw Joe
You got me
Montana back
confused.
there.
It's been a long day. You've got me confused, but that's okay. Now I understand.
Well, open
You got
those ears.
concussions too? Come
Yeah.
on now. Come on.
He's got no excuses.
Jesus. Oh.
I can't keep holding this ship together, guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's very interesting. And it's surprising to hear you cheer on the Bears as much as you are because, like you said, oh.
I'm not cheering on the Bears. I'm giving them roses.
Yeah.
I'm cheering them on. That's
Yeah.
fighting words. Don't say that stuff. Don't say that.
Well,
Oh.
I know you wish you had a seat at the table right now. So I'm sure it's tough for you to express the roses right here.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, how do you feel about this matchup?
I don't think like you said, either the quarterback. I think it's the Bears. I think it's the Bears as well because Pittsburgh doesn't play good on the road. If this was at Pittsburgh, I would probably give it to Pittsburgh. With the Bears, they're on a roll right now, and that I'll take the Bears. Caleb's on a roll right now. He's Mr. Magician. I'm not going to compare him to Mahomes, but they're playing good right now. They're playing good enough to win. So yeah, I take the Bears at home.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that too. Let's go Bears. Okay, Tim, let's take us into your first matchup. What? Hold on.
Let's go. Don't say let's go. Just say, okay, I think they're going to win. Like, it's let's go Vikings no matter what.
Oh, well, I could say duh Bears. Would that make you feel better?
No.
Philadelphia and Dallas. For Philadelphia, got to get this offense going. Got to get it clicking on all cylinders. Got to get Barkley going. Got to get Brown going. I mean, now there's reports out there that there's a little talking, and they asked Hurts about it. He's like, well, it's part of the job. They're going to criticize about me. It is what it is. This is what's going on right now. We're winning. It is what it is. But Barkley right now is only getting about 3 yards a carry, average of 2 yards a carry, and it's less than last year. AJ Brown's been very quiet, and that's the deal too. Is what better offense or what better way to get healthy against that Dallas defense? Mm-hmm. That's not terrible, but they are playing better with Quinnen Williams. So for Dallas, keep doing what you're doing on offense because you got Pickens, Lamb, Javonte Williams going, Ferguson going. They're playing a lot better in the last couple of weeks, and even the defense has been playing better with Quinnen Williams. And they're going to get returned back. If I could say this right, the Marvian Overshine. He's a linebacker. He's been hurt all year. He should keep the going around, the turnaround going. This should be a good division game either way. Since it's at Dallas, give me Dallas.
Ooh.
And a minor upset.
Okay. I feel like the way we've been talking about Philadelphia, and it's just how you explained it there too, I feel like we're waiting for like the shoe to drop. Like, when are they going to turn it on completely? It just doesn't feel like they're going at each game 100%. So it's kind of like, are you going to wait until the last minute? Is it going to be too late? However, I'm going to stick with the Eagles. I think they're going to pull this one out, but I wish we would see, the full throttle, foot all the way down. So that's my 2 cents on that. Anthony, what do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be even harder to put your foot to the throttle now with Lane Johnson being out. That's your anchor. Yeah. That's your offensive anchor, and that's the guy that's going to help you run the ball, which you haven't done. You've done consistently okay this year. You just haven't had that big game where Saquon has. Dallas's defense looked good against the Las Vegas Raiders, who everyone has looked good against. Oh, wait, did Dallas's offense look good against them? Oh, they did. But didn't 2 weeks ago they get beat by the Cardinals? Like, okay, so let's just slow your roll. For all you Dallas fans, go get your banners, go get everything right now, because when at 3:25 on Sunday, you're going to get stomped out. I think this is a statement game for the Eagles. I think a lot of people are talking, being like, you know what, they can't do anything right in this offense. This is how they played last year. There was games where we're like, oh my gosh, like, when are they going to actually start turning it on? They went on to win the Super Bowl, people, okay? They went and won the Super Bowl. I do believe that because it's in Dallas, it does give a little favor to Dallas. I did hear a stat this afternoon, Dan Orlowski gave it, that like Dak Prescott's only lost like 2 division games at home since whatever date or whatever. That's a huge stat. Do you know what one of those teams is? The Eagles.
No.
So looking at this, I like the Eagles to win this game. I do agree, though. This is one of these games where A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, their DBs are not there. And I think the way that the Eagles have been consistently running the ball, that's great. But start looking down the field. Get Goddard get Saquon out of the backfield and catch some passes. You can see what he can do in open field. I think that's where you're going to see a more complete game from the Eagles. I just don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game like everyone thinks it's going to be.
Now, you say this is a 3:30 game, so does that mean the sun's going to peak right in those windows?
Probably.
Yeah. Right in Jalen Hurts' eyes. Oh, yeah, baby.
And if
he's
you're
going to throw a couple picks.
And if you're smart, you would actually wear the smoked visor.
Right.
So it's like sunglasses while you're out there because of that situation.
Right. Okay, I was just curious because I can't remember what team that was against, but that was a big factor.
Yeah, that was so dumb.
All right, Anthony, well, take me into your next must-watch this Sunday.
Yeah, this is a great game. It could have been a really good game, though. Colts versus Chiefs. Chiefs come off a loss to the Denver Broncos last week, while the Colts are coming off of a bye. So what team's going to come up to show to play this week? I think the Colts are coming off a bye. I say that now.
Yes,
and
they
I
are.
don't-
Yeah,
okay,
they are. Yeah, they are. You're right.
Okay.
Right.
I think this is a statement game for both teams. And why I'm saying that is because we still have our hesitations of the Colts. Are they a good team? Are they? I mean, their record's good, but are they a good team? This is one of those teams where if you do it, people recognize a little bit more. On the other side, Chiefs. Every game matters now. Every single game matters. And you have a gauntlet coming up as well. And you're going to take on the Colts. Luckily, it is in Kansas City. But Sauce Gardner is going to be the big factor in this one. He's going to be obviously guarding Rice. That's where I would put him on as Rice. I don't care if he's in the slot. He's in the backfield. I don't care where he's at. That's where Sauce Gardner is. So can the Chiefs find other options? Because it seems like it's been Rice since he's been coming back. Travis Kelce gets his 4 catches so that Taylor Swift's happy, things like that. While on the other side, while the Colts, can Danny Dimes and Jonathan Taylor keep this up? It just doesn't seem real. It seems like midnight's going to strike and Cinderella's going to go back to wherever she's coming from, things like that as well. The Chiefs do like to blitz, so Daniel Jones has got to get the ball out of his hands quick. And if you remember correctly, when they played Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh likes to blitz. And they got after Daniel Jones. I think they had 6 turnovers or 5 turnovers. It was a crazy amount. I think when you look at the other side, the final thing, too, is the Chiefs. They have to find a way to run the ball. Like that, we have said that all year, just like I was talking about one of the teams, USC, you got to find a way to run the ball because it opens up the pass. And then when you don't run the ball, it just puts more strain on Patrick Mahomes. We've seen Patrick Mahomes have to make so many more plays this year than his whole entire career because he's had all the options. I think you're looking at, can you run the ball in this game? I don't think you can. I like the Colts to win this game.
Okay. I was hoping that you would say the Colts because they're coming off a bye, but I kind of feel like Kansas City's got something to prove. So I'm actually leaning towards Kansas City this game. Tim, how do you feel about this matchup?
Well, yeah, the bye. I mean, but they really need this victory. They really need it because they go 5-6. They're done. They're done. They won't make the playoffs. So I will let you know in my best bets what I think, what I really think.
Ooh.
What's the spread, if I may ask?
2.5, I think it is.
Wow.
2.5 or 3.5. Wait, hang on. 1 second.
Even that's still light.
3.5. 3.5.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
And I do agree with you. And I think the other way to look at it, too, is Denver's not going anywhere. And even if Denver goes anywhere, the Chargers are right there, too. So you're on the outside, just like Buffalo, as we're recording Thursday night. Buffalo's got to win. They got to keep winning because they got to keep just being on the outside looking in. And I just don't think the Chiefs got it.
I think they're another team that we're going to see them turn it on, put that pedal to the metal.
They have to.
Yeah, they ain't got no choice.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, Tim, take me into your second NFL must-watch.
This is going to be a good Sunday night game. I'm thinking, or that's when they're playing. Rams and Bucks. Key for Tampa Bay, is the tempo for the Rams. This is for the Rams. They do play action, and they do timing routes where the Bucks are more balanced, run and pass. Also, turnovers is going to be a key. The Rams defense can create timing interceptions, while Tampa Bay has a long streak of at least one, which I didn't know this one. They have at least one interception in every game this year so far. Both teams can flip the field easy. I think the turnovers will be the determining factor on who wins this game. This could be a close game or possibly a blowout. Finally, the cross-country travel, which this really isn't a cross-country travel. I mean, it's from Tampa Bay to L.A. I mean, it's not real. It ain't going from the Jets to L.A. And the Rams play better at home in November. Sometimes. I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. Really needs this victory. I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. I've been taking all the underdogs. Why not this last one? I like Tampa Bay. I think Mayfield Bucky Irvin possibly could play. I think they could get Godwin back. If those two play, definitely Tampa Bay.
Yeah, nope, I'm with you there. And Baker, we trust, right? I think he's still got some magic left in the tank. I'm with you. I'm with the Bucks. Anthony, what do you feel?
Yeah, I'm so with this Tampa Bay. Oh, no, I'm not. I think Rams win this game. And here's why. Red zone efficiency. LA's is in the top 5 for a lot of stats when it comes to red zone defense. Well, what happens when you don't have your playmakers? It's hard to score in the red zone. We're seeing the NFL change. A lot of teams are talking about, we don't really care what happens from the 20 to the 20. You can do whatever you want from the 20 to 20. We just got to stop you when you get to the 20. So you're kicking field goals instead of scoring touchdowns. And when you're on the opposite 20, we want you to punt it off because we get good field position, okay? So you might see them drive down the field. But when they got to go against this Rams defense in the red zone, if they don't have Bucky Irving, if they don't have Godwin, who are they going to? Sean Tucker? Sean Tucker he's decent, but he ain't that guy. I also think on the other side for the Rams, that offense it has so many options. Whether it's the 3 tight ends or it's Davante Adams is a second wide receiver on a team. He's been a number 1 for however long, and he's still great. Puka Nacua over there, Kyron Williams, they have a good team, while also Stafford is taking care of the ball. I think that's the other thing as well. I like the Rams to win. If it was in Tampa Bay, I would maybe feel a little bit more on that, but I think this would be a great game in LA, and I think Rams win this one.
Well, I think that's a good defense to, that other side of it. So we will have to see, and that's on Sunday night. All right, Tim, you've teased us long enough. What is your best bets this weekend?
Oh, boy, we have a doozy in the Conference USA. New Mexico State and UTEP. Oh, burger. New Mexico State has covered the spread in 7 of the last 8 November games as underdogs against non-AP ranked teams, while UTEP has covered the spread in 8 of the last 9 November games as home favorites. I'm not excited about this game, but you know what? What the hell? Throw a couple coins, couple dimes on it, as they're both bottom feeders in their conference. I like UTEP at home, and it's senior day. What the hell? Give me UTEP and I'll give you the 3 points.
Ooh.
Missouri and Oklahoma. Missouri has covered the spread in each of the last 4 road games in November, while Oklahoma has covered the spread in 8 of the last 9 November games at home. I thought this could be a letdown game for Oklahoma after playing Alabama and beating Alabama at Alabama. And Missouri should cover, but they're 0-3 straight up and 0-2-1 as underdogs this year. Also, Oklahoma is 7-4 against the spread in the last 11 games when favored by 5 or more points. Give me Oklahoma, and I'll give you the 7.5. Yeah, that's a lot of points, but I don't think Missouri's got it. Colts and Chiefs. Colts have covered the spread 6 of the last 7 games against AFC opponents, while the Chiefs have lost 2 games in a row as favorites. Can you guess the 2 favorites?
I don't know.
The 2 teams they played? Broncos and Bills, last 2. Colts coming off a bye and should be fully rested, and then the Chiefs have lost 2 in a row, and their offense has trouble finding the end zone. This is going to be the game of the week, I think. Give me the Colts, and I'll take the 3.5.
Yeah.
Everybody's jumping on the Colts. Jacksonville and Arizona. The road team has won 4 of the last 5 games between the Jags and the Cardinals. The Cardinals are free falling in the last 8 games. They're 8 home games, 8 games, 1-7, and they have been terrible at home. Just 1 win in the last 5 games. I like the Jag Bags, and I'll give you the 2.5.
Ooh, yeah. That's honestly that's a low number for the Jags.
Yeah,
with a backup quarterback playing for the Cardinals. I like these. I will be honest with you, I don't know crap about that first game. I mean, when you brought up the American, I was like, "There's a lot of good teams in that," and then you're like, "UTEP," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, UTEP and New Mexico State. They might be from Conference USA, or I don't know. They're from some Big West. I have no idea.
Yeah, something out there for sure. All right, well, that is episode 163. We talked about the college football playoff prediction. We talked about the must-watch games and the NFL on Sunday must-watch games as well. And then we gave Tim's best bets. If you're going to bet them, bet responsibly. We need a 4-0. We have not yet had a 4-0 this year. We need a 4-0 this week. It could start this week, so always keep an eye on that. If you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. We're on all of them. We'll be back on Monday when we recap the Sunday and Saturday games of NFL and college football. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your time. Watch football because it's coming to an end faster and faster as we get there. Enjoy it. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.